Joseph was a loving father, a beloved father, a caring and tender father, an obedient father, a working father, and a father in the shadow. May the peace and joy of Christ be with you today. Today, the church celebrates the solemnity of an extraordinary person who, even in the midst of confusion and uncertainty, completely cooperated with the salvific plan of God the Father, and thus became a powerful and significant presence in the salvation history. Saint Joseph, husband of Mary. Among the many things, today we have three things to focus on. Joseph is a man of dreams, man of action, and a family man. Saint Joseph, man of dreams. In a class, seeing a boy sleeping, another boy calls out to the teacher and says, "Teacher, this boy is sleeping." The teacher, after a pause, said, "Let him sleep. He might at least have dreams." Dream, in a biblical understanding, is one of the ways of God's communicating his messages. But he or she needs to be contemplating God even while sleeping. Saint Joseph is also known for his silence. The silence he kept was his way of contemplating God and seeking God's will. Secondly, he was a man of action. Today's gospel tells us that immediately he woke up and did as the angel had told him to do. In sleep and in silence, he contemplated God and consulted with God and sought to know the will of God. And once he came to know the will of God, immediately he began to act upon that will of God, not upon his will. Let's recall the words of Jesus, who said, "Doing the will of my Father is my food." He must have learned it from Joseph. And we know thereafter, Joseph never stopped doing the will of God. Even when it was contrary to his decision, he cooperated fully to take care of those entrusted to his care. And thirdly, he was a family man. Joseph was a just man, and he was also very sincere, very honest, and very responsible that God relied on him. He gave into his care his only son, Jesus, and Mary, his mother. Pope Francis, in his letter, Patris Corde, with the Father's heart, mentions about the various factors of the fatherhood of Saint Joseph. And he writes, Saint Joseph was a loving father, a beloved father, a caring and tender father, an obedient father, a working father, and a father in the shadow. He was a father par excellence, teaching him all the ways of God, teaching him to seek the will of God, and teaching him to be compassionate as he was to Mary. And he was a great husband to Mary. Speaking about the virginal nuptials of Joseph and Mary, Saint Francis de Sales writes, "Oh, how divine was the union between Joseph and Mary, a union that caused the supreme good, the good of all goods, Jesus himself, to belong to Joseph, even as he belonged to Mary, not by nature, but by grace." My dear friend, how good are your dreams? How committed are you to those who are entrusted to your care? Your family members, your friends, people at work, people at your service. May Saint Joseph inspire us and the love of Christ redeem us. Amen.